We are back here on Girl Talk with our final segment. Guess who's with us? Yes, Sean Stewart is here, custom audio video. As always, we look forward to talking with you. And this is especially a great time to talk. It's getting gorgeous outside. Lots of people are redoing or renovating their homes. Mm-hmm. I think the pandemic has us all unable to unsee things that we've seen for now, a year?
Yeah.
So window treatments. I'm huge into window treatments. Mm-hmm. We were just talking, you do quite a bit with solar shades.
We do.
So let's talk a little bit about how good shades can work in your home and some of the things that you offer that I think people may not realize that you have.
Yeah. You know the importance of window treatments.
Oh, the most.
It's how do we balance having these beautiful views, particularly down here where we are. We want these beautiful views in our home, but there's a lot of damage that comes through that window as well. Temperature, right? Climate control of the home, energy bills skyrocket if you're not treating it well. But then also just damage to your carpet, mm-hmm. your furniture with UV.
Oh, nothing worse. If you haven't done it recently, take your pillows off the sofa and see what the sun damage. Yeah.
See that sun damage. But the window treatments are going to affect that. They're going to help that. Particularly what we do, which is automated window treatments.
Okay, which is the tie-in to custom audio video.
Exactly, yeah. So they're controlled somehow, either from a push of a button or automatically done. So you can wake up in the morning and hit the button and open them, or we can have it on a schedule where they're going to maybe slowly lower throughout the day, depending on what the sun's doing.
So what are a couple of the brands that you specifically carry?
We do a lot of Lutron and a lot of Crestron as well. So those are the two big ones. Very similar in a lot of ways, but they also have their own unique niches that they fall into.
Are there windows particularly that you recommend people consider doing these Crestron and Lutron shades in? And I'm gonna kind of interject this from a designer standpoint. I think they should be on all windows. First of all, they're gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're simple, but for all the reasons you're talking about too.
Yeah, so as many as you can do. Of course, but there are some that maybe they're not necessarily cost effective because they're not going to be used very often.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, so we always say windows that you want to open and close a lot.
Okay.
Or windows that are hard to get to, right? So we have a lot of these giant, beautiful window
Palladian
walls, and the high ones up top, you're just never going to be able to get up there manually to do it. So if you do some automated shades, you can cover those, block out the sun when you need to.
How do the automated shades work? Can I retrofit them? Does it have to be new construction? How do you recommend it?
Yeah, so there's two main things that go to it. There's power and control.
Okay.
Both can be wireless, both can be wired, depending on when they go into the system.
All right.
So if we're looking at a new build or a home that's kind of wide open, ripped open, we can run a lot of those wires back to a power panel.
Okay.
And power it. And those, that's one of the best options because you're not having to worry about the power to them.
Got it.
There are some battery powered shades though. But those batteries last a long time. I think they're rated for one up and one down for about 6 years on average, so give or take.
Well, you were talking about, well, first of all, you were talking about there were a lot of things that you can do with the controls, like throughout the day.
Right, yeah, so we can schedule them. Lutron particularly has one of their programs for some of their wood blinds that adjusts the pitch of the actual slat depending on where your home is, what time of year, what face of your home. So if it's a north facing is a west facing window, and then it affects how much light's coming in because you want to maximize light but minimize UV. So maybe when the sun is high over the house, we're going to have those full open, but as it starts to come down facing that window, you want to adjust how those slats are facing to block the direct sunlight but still get a lot of light in the room.
Roller shades aren't like your grandmother's roller shades. I mean, just look at the array of things we have here. Are you seeing most people doing a neutral, matching their trim, or my personal favorite, which is the black or almost dark?
Yeah, a good mix of that where you're kind of going with a very neutral or black. And then anywhere from sheer, just a few percentage points down to what we have behind us, which is a full blackout. Well, I don't want to say a full blackout.
Right, because it's got the sides.
Right, it's a blackout fabric, but it's not treated as a blackout window where you'd have the channels to block all that extra light that comes through.
And I think with the way that people are doing sort of minimalistic things or just very simple window treatments, these are the best option.
Yeah.
I would love to have people take a look at some of these incredible fabrics.
You can see some of these fabrics that if you want to make that design statement, you
Yes.
really can. And they're not too hard, and that's one of the things where you think, well, it's a design statement, but design changes.
Right.
Well, it's not too difficult to come back in a few years and go, hey, we can pull that roller out, put a new one on with new fabric, and use the motor, right? So then part of the cost is in there. It's stuck. You don't have to worry about redoing that, but you just get a new roller with new fabric on it, and you can change out the look. You can go from one of these more stylish, what I would call more fashionable ones.
Right. Fashion forward.
Yeah.
That may in 10 years be like, oh. Right. Okay, the takeaway for me today is I did not know you could do that. Mm-hmm. So I always gear my clients, okay, here's what I think you should do. Go very neutral. So in 20 years, you'll still love it. But basically, you're saying not necessarily, you don't need to do that.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like painting a room. You can make a design
Yes.
statement and just go, hey, worst case scenario, you repaint it. So, and that's the thing. Worst case scenario, you just switch out that roller with new fabric.
How does it work with people? Do you come into the house? Do you measure? Do you do everything for me? So I just basically pick my fabric and enjoy it? Okay.
Yeah. Now that may be the toughest part because you can see how many fabrics there are to choose from. But our guys will come in, measure, make sure that we're going to fit that window well, and then help walk you through the stage all the way through installation and programming that needs to be done.
I learn something every single time we're together. Sean Stewart, thank you. Thank you all for joining us here on Girl Talk. Please have a safe and wonderful week. Bye-bye.